Got anything you want to say to Dave right now?
You know, it was something I did, and I'm proud of what my contribution was to it. And it's something I still go back to and listen to sometimes, and I'm proud of, and realize how good it is, you know.
We wrestled around a lot, I'm sure, but I only remember 2 times we actually fought. There was only 2 times. I mean, I'm sure that when you're drunk and you're horsing around, there's probably a lot of that stuff, but... Sorry, Chris.
Other people can have 2 beers. Me and Dave can't have 2 beers. We have to have all the beer and everything else, you know. Sometimes it just takes a little longer to accept the fact that, you know, all your beer tickets have been used, you know. So luckily I got sober. And then I started doing what I'm doing still. I did a couple records. I did a record for Enigma. And I did do a tour with the Circle Jerks, though, playing bass, which was maybe the first time I ever really made money in a band. And now I'm doing this. Ohm is my new band. And I swear I haven't been happier. I'm drinking tea now, you know, and you know, I don't have a hangover.
I always look at Megadeth and I always pick up the CDs. I want it to be big because that's part of our legacy. I would want Dave to achieve big time and continue to achieve.
The time with Megadeth took me from being a guitar teacher and, you know, just a guitar player playing for 4 walls to learning what the business is about. I learned a lot what to do, and I learned what not to do. It was very valuable, and I'll always be grateful for the opportunity I had. It was a blast. The last time I saw anyone from Megadeth, I was coming out of Doug and Doc's office because they had my gold albums, because the albums had just gone gold, and I was walking out, and Junior was walking in, and he said, "Hey, what you got there?" And I said, "Everything we worked for." And he said, "You deserve it." And I said, "So do you." And we said, "See you around." Adios.
We had a lot of great times. I wish them the best, and I hope that we're off on good terms. Personally, there's no way we can be anything but good terms. I mean, musically, I don't think we're ever going to agree. And I think that musical disagreement is what was part of our great chemistry during the years that we were really kicking ass. And it was a great chemistry. But on the other hand, I would have liked to have enjoyed our videos more. I'm like, come on, let's get on the boat. Let's get some chicks in the video.
There was never really that much animosity between me and him. I think we forgave each other rather quickly. I've seen him a lot, and we've run into each other a lot. In the last couple of years, me and him have actually gotten a kind of a cool phone thing. He calls me once in a while and just tells me how he's doing. I have a kind of a pure thing going and stuff like that.
We definitely experienced a lot of cool stuff together that can never be changed and never be done again with the same innocence and virgin territory that we had covered.
Virgin.
Lastly, it's not about Dave, but
virgin used loosely.
Anything else you guys want to say about Megadeth?
They're all right. No.
This
is the Dave hour.
No, I mean, just, rust in peace.
What?
Wait.
That's one of them.
No, wait. What's the second?
Peace Cells.
Peace Cells. Okay, there you go. Some peace. I mean, I remember just when the first record didn't do that much for me. I mean, I respected it and stuff like that, but I was like a really big fan of Peace Cells. The second record I thought was an awesome heavy metal record at that time. And I listened to it a lot. And even though I certainly didn't tell anybody at the time, I was actually, I guess, secretly kind of proud of the work that he'd done because he had stepped up to the plate. I certainly didn't tell James. But now
I know.
But I thought that was an awesome record. I don't know. I mean, once again,
the one thing you got to admire about anybody who's been around for as long as he has, just the staying power is awesome. I mean, in a time frame where most bands stick around for 15 minutes or less, it's just awesome that it's been 15, 16 years for him and he's still here making records. And so you got to always tip your hat to that. It is pretty crazy that we were actually in a band together for what now seems like about 5 minutes or something, but it's something that nobody can ever take away. And that was just it's a great part of our history, great part of his history, and a great part of rock and roll history in the last 20 years of the 20th century,
I'll tell you one thing. I never had more fun with two guys in my life than drinking with James and Lars. And if I didn't have a disease where I could actually stop once I started, I would love to get together with those guys and do it all over again. I'm really looking forward to the day where we can sit down and just laugh about how this thing just mushroomed into this unbelievable thing. The two of us have sold more records than probably any other two bands that I know. But, I think that the world could stand to learn a lot from Metallica. They have done just about everything picture perfect. My success is based partially on the doors that they've opened for us all, and partially on me being the ex-Metallica guy. Now, a lot of it has to do with my own songwriting, but I can't deny the fact that a lot of it has to do with them.
If you measure Megadeth's success against Metallica's success, it would be very easy to draw the conclusion that they weren't as successful. And that would be unfair, because the contribution Dave made as an artist and as a musician was profound to the people who followed Megadeth. Dave made one of the most significant contributions to a legion of fans, a lifestyle, a music style of as much as anybody. That Metallica were more popular, that James Hetfield is a bigger rock star in terms of sheer numbers, would be selling Dave's commitment short. As a professional who still works in the business, Dave Mustaine is one of the great rock stars of not only of that time, but of all time, because he chose to be a rock star completely.
I remember we were in this hotel in Japan. I mean, in every country in the world, we were like, there was some major fight breaking out, and it was like, my job seemed like to be holding the cops off at the door, and then talking to them. I don't even know how I did it, but I was managed to keep the cops from taking those guys away. But we were in Japan one time. The guy from the Rolling Stones was down the hall. And Chris is like, oh, I got to go down and meet this guy. And Dave's like, fuck you. You're not going down there to meet this guy. Who the fuck is he? We're Megadeth. And he should be coming down here to meet us, And Chris is like, oh, fuck you, And then before you know it, like, telephones are flying out the window. And we're on, like, the 20th floor, And it's like the bed's being broken half. The toilet bowl got broken off the floor, And then there's, like, a geyser of water. And it's just, like, pouring out into the hallway. And I don't know if this happens in other rock bands, but they were just literally like trying to kill each other, And if, a toilet doesn't just break off the floor unless something serious is going on, So I run downstairs, this fight's finally get him to calm down, get him to drag him into separate rooms or whatever. And I go downstairs because I see the police are coming in, and the police in Japan, they look like, the military, And I run down to the lobby, and I see the promoter down there, like, go to stop the cops from coming in the lobby, and they just, like, knock that guy to the floor, man, It's like, and I'm like, oh, we're in a different country, they're breaking up the room, and it's like, what am I going to do? I only speak English, but somehow, I managed to just say, everything's fine, it was just a mistake, and because when they were throwing the stuff out the window, there was like 100 people outside, looking for the band, It was like when we arrived in Japan, I felt like it was the Beatles or something, because they were chasing the train as they were pulling out of the subway. They were like, there was just tons of girls like chasing after the train, They were, we were on after we got to the train stop, we get in a cab, right? And all these girls get in other cabs and they start chasing us, and then the cab driver's like getting into it, like, you know, all right, I'm gonna, you know, lose these people, you know, they know where we're going, you know. It was just hilarious. So anyway, these people end up at the hotel, you know, and then hours later they see things flying out the window, you know, and I guess they're thinking, you know, memorabilia or whatever, you know, they're picking it up and stuff. You know, it's just hilarious, you know.